realize he's just putting an O in every word.
No, but
it works.
It works. Sometimes.
You know what that character reminds me of? He's like 50% Puss in Boots.
Yes.
And 50% Pepe Le Pew.
Yes.
You know,
that was exactly
for
it.
me, you know who you remind me of? Hank Azaria.
Hank, who's that?
Hank Azaria.
Oh, Spartacus.
Yeah, do you?
What? He's not Spartacus.
No, okay.
Pizza Boy. Yeah, no, yeah. Godzilla. He was a cameraman. He was also.
He was Spartacus.
He was
not Spartacus.
Yes, he was.
He was.
Not Spartacus.
Not Spartacus.
He would a
in the birdcage.
The birdcage, one with Nathan Lane.
No, but also the way you look, you remind me of Hank Azaria, Hollywood star.
Oh, thanks.
You know him. You've seen him.
And voice talent in The Simpsons.
Yeah, a voice talent in The Simpsons.
Yeah, he voices
Mr. Burns.
No, not Mr. Burns. Tina Shaw.
Hank Azaria. He voices.
We'll Google it.
Google it.
But anyway, so you were telling us off the air that you're pretty busy with
mushroom scoping. So for people that don't know, I moved back to the Philippines a few years ago. Started my own business called Ministry of Mushrooms.
Parang may techno/mushroom kind of thing. But there's like a Ministry of Sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was hungover when I thought about this, and I was in.
That makes so much sense.
It's like, what name can I use for my mushroom business?
Ministry of Mushrooms.
We were growing mushrooms, and we advocate growing mushrooms, but now we're mainly traders. We buy from other local growers, and we also have the people that import mushrooms, and we supply to restaurants.
Okay, you're a distributor.
We're a distributor. Also, but we do home delivery as well.
But why mushrooms?
The short of that is basically that I wanted to get into a business that I knew could give back, and that was agriculture. I needed a high yield crop, and looking at the shelves, I saw mushrooms. I had a friend that knew how to grow mushrooms, and when I started reading the books, then I fell in love. It's got health benefits, there are environmental benefits.
Right.
Environmental, for people that don't know, when you grow mushrooms, you are decomposing agricultural waste that is usually burned, or you can use it as a rural development tool.
But it's healthy enough to eat.
No, it's a superfood. It's one of the healthiest things you can do. So what we advocate is including things like mushrooms, other superfoods, even malunggay, local stuff. Yeah. That you can just add onto your diet, and it enhances what you do. So last year we spearheaded a campaign called Mushrooms Go Pink, PH. And we got 30 restaurants to create a special dish with the oyster mushroom, which is a local mushroom.
Yeah, the oyster mushroom. The one that looks like a fan?
That looks like a fan.
I'm always afraid to eat that.
No, they're really good for you.
Oh, okay.
So studies show, inconclusive with human studies, because basically it takes a while now.
Yeah.
But eating mushrooms on a regular basis can reduce the risk of breast cancer about 2/3. Now, let's say clinical studies finally, like when you go to healthy options and you see no therapeutic claims, it's like that. Studies are pointing towards it. Now, if for example they become conclusive and one day they say, well, it's only maybe about 1/3, 1/3, but still, why not? We know that eating this can be important. So we got 30 different restaurants to create a special dish with the mushrooms. And all different types of restaurants, so different types of cuisine. And you go to the restaurant, you buy the dish. 10% of the sales of that dish go to the I Can Serve Breast Cancer Foundation that we support. This year there are about 50 different restaurants.
Wow.
So would you say you're like you really know your mushrooms? Because some of them don't have like layman's terms, but like the lesser popular ones, you have to use the scientific.
The scientific shiitakes, Latinula edodes. Oyster mushroom is pleurotus. Pleurotus is the main group. There's a lot of different.
But it's but it's tricky. Like let's say you're walking in the meadow.
Yes. I do not
walking in the meadow.
Suggest people go out and just pick up. I suggest it right now. Like in Europe, their culture is there already, so they know, and they have people that can be.
But you don't plant mushrooms,
you cultivate them,
right? Because they kind of like the saying goes, like, sumusupot ka parang kabuti.
Yeah.
They just sort of like
because they're not
kabuti is a mushroom.
Yes.
They're their own kingdom.
Yeah,
So there's
I was
animal
about to say,
kingdom,
they're not
plant kingdom,
animals,
and
they're not plants,
Yeah.
they're fungi.
they're fungi. And do you know that fungi is closer to animals than plants? Yeah. And the largest organism in the world is a fungus.
So
it spans about 16 football fields.
Wow.
1,000 acres. if I'm not mistaken. It's in the U.S.
That's why mushrooms grow where it's wet and moist.
So they start with they need about 90% of humidity
Moisture.
to become the mushroom.
Wait,
But the actual mushroom itself is what they call like mycelium. It's a web. It's on the ground. You don't even see it. It's just two-celled organism that just keeps spreading, and then they partner themselves with like trees. Plants.
yeah.
And that's the one that spans, 16 foot.
16, and that's also where you get like truffles, for example.
Yeah.
Right.
Are truffles?
They're fungus. They're a fungus. Yeah, the reason why they're really expensive is that people have not yet learned to cultivate them. Mainly because these mushrooms need a plant symbiote or a tree as a symbiotic partner.
Right.
They have. It's like if a person got a fungus, like a fungal disease, like athlete's foot, but they had to grow it for about 15 years.
15 years, yeah.
And then
That's pretty much how a truffle is.
Yes.
So would you grow mushrooms on your feet?
Well,
Ever?
if you really think about it, we have so many other organisms
On
that-
us.
Yeah.
inside us.
We're like the tree of,
We're like
of
yeah.
the mushroom.
We're a microcosm of life.
Yeah, we have virus all over us.
We have virus all over us. No, but we also need probiotics.
Yeah, also inside our
we
stomach.
need, but without the good bacteria in our body.
We needed it,
Yeah.
right. Wow, okay, so just talking to you for the past, I don't know, we started maybe early part of 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You are so serious about mushrooms.
I love
I
this.
can talk about mushrooms all day. I'll come back. Yes.
Bebe Ble was just saying, Marco makes mushroom talk sound so sexy. Kahit wala akong naiintindihan. sorry.
No, because one thing comes clear,
Yeah.
which is you're very passionate about mushrooms. You know it. And do you think that the Philippine market now, especially the food industry, is so ripe to introduce these things? Because 10 years ago, you couldn't get olive oil, you couldn't get the spices, but now...
People more and more, there is a food wave, and it's not just mushrooms. I think that people are becoming more passionate about whole foods, about knowing where their food comes from, about healthier,
and eco-friendly.
And eco-friendly.
Right.
So that's something I know. But for people to understand it, we want to be able to. For example, we introduce recipes for people to learn how to cook. Because they would say before, ay, mushrooms, hindi
They
naman
say it's
niluto."
tricky, yeah.
Oh, hindi naman. It's actually one of the easiest things. You just chuck it in with whatever.
But they say
whatever
never,
is there.
Never wash it.
You can wash it a bit. It's just that
It's
because
so
it's already
thin.
liquid,
Yeah.
it already has the liquid it needs. Minsan nabugbog. You don't wash it a lot.
Yeah.
And usually they're clean naman.
Right.
But yun.
I saw Giada De Laurentiis. She would just wipe it.
Yes,
Yeah.
you just wipe
it.
Yeah.
And
But for people, a tip is that mushrooms should be cooked. Even for raw foodists, we always suggest that, because actually some people don't know that raw foodists cook their food just a little bit or steam it to sometimes take out the bacteria. And they should do that with mushrooms because mainly they're made out of chitin, which is a compound you find in your nails or like what makes shellfish hard. And if you cook it, the chitin breaks down and the nutrients come out.
Parang you
and it's
release
easier,
it.
and it's easier. It's like if you eat shellfish, your body can digest it, but has a harder time.
Yeah.
So cooking it alone, the
Helps.
makes it help.
so much
That's why you make recipes, diba?
Yes, we make recipes. It's all online. You can.
Oh,
go to,
I've got a suggestion.
Yeah.
I've got a suggestion. Mushrooms with potatoes.
Yes.
You can call it
Mush potatoes.
I tell you, that will be your biggest
How come
seller.
you guys knew it right away?
Because we worked with him.
Because we know how his brain works.
Yeah, you should. That would be your like best seller.
Alright, so
One of our office people has a suggestion for you
Yes.
for Halloween.
Oh.
I don't know if you have a costume already, but
Not yet.
because you love mushrooms and you speak with an accent, you should be Mario though.
Mario.
Yeah, I think that would
Oh,
actually
no,
work. Diba?
But mushrooms. That was like, they're like... Never mind.
Magic. Power up yet.
Okay.
No, because it's healthy, diba? It gives you a little bit of that, parang it makes you feel like a stronger, better person.
What do you call the, ano, like the mushroom has like the, parang the shaft, like there's the shaft.
Oh!
No, I mean
What
like
exactly are you talking about here?
the stem.
Stem. We call it a
I
stem.
know.
Cap.
A cap.
Cap and stem.
Cap and stem.
The shaft and something.
Under the cap, there are gills. Many
Yeah, there are gills.
Some mushrooms have gills. Some mushrooms have pores. Some mushrooms they have teeth, but it's not.
Teeth?
Yeah, it looks like it's tooth. Teeth.
Oh wait, just to remember earlier we were talking
Hank Azaria.
he plays Mo, Apu, and Chief Wiggum.
There.
Apu?
Yeah.
3 characters.
He's so talented. You know, when you Google him, his picture,
Yeah.
you know him. You've seen him in countless. Right?
All right. Well, we've got Marco Lobregat on the show. He's going to be joining us a little bit later on.
Yeah, and there's a lot to talk about with this guy because that's just mushrooms.
I know.
We haven't even touched his foray.
His what?
His what? What exactly do you want to touch then?
What are we
No,
going to touch?
we haven't even.
Kasi magtatampo yung...
We haven't even delved into the more showbiz, public.
Yeah, the public
part.
figure. The
Yeah,
public ano.
that is Marco Lobregat.
Well, we'll get to that in just a little bit, alright?
We will, Lobregat to the bottom of this.
Oh my God. Let's go on a break.